What's up guys, Viper here and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we're going to be looking at my updated controller and camera settings. The camera settings haven't changed at all, but there's something in there that I think I forgot to show in the last video. So we're going to look at the camera settings as well. But for the controls, there's something I have changed drastically, and it's made me a lot better of a player. The first weekend league I played, since I changed these, I got 30-0, the first 30-0 of the year for me. So let's get into them. Fifa Trainer, have that on. In fact, don't have it on. Whatever you want, really. It doesn't make a difference. Time finishing, I like to have this on because I actually time quite a lot of shots. I think this can be the difference between scoring and not in some scenarios. So I like to have that on just in case there is an opportunity where, you know, I don't think I can score if I normal shoot, but if I time shoot, I think it will go in. This happens quite a lot in my opinion, and not a lot of people put a lot of respect on time finishing anymore, but I actually think it's really important to have on. Jockey assisted, don't change this, none of this stuff here from timed down to jockey has been changed by me. This is all the default that it puts on. Auto flare pass, I would personally turn this off, because let's say you're in a really good attacking situation and you need to pass it backwards. Sometimes it will do a flare pass instead of a normal pass, and I just don't think that's very good, especially with how good 360 passing is on this game anyway. I just don't think this is worth having on. I do actually think though flare passes can be useful to you. So what you do for that is you just hold L2 and then press X. I do think they're useful in certain scenarios. I actually do score a few goals because I flare pass instead of normal passing. Obviously sometimes, you know, the 360 passes, sometimes it is better to do a flare pass, like a back heel instead of a 360. So that's why I've got that on. In terms of auto clearances, I think you should have this on because, you know, sometimes if you can't press the button quick enough and it just does it for you, I just think it's a bit better. Obviously there's that glitch in the game still, where the ball's going to your keeper, he has to come out and the AI deals with it instead of you dealing with it. If you turn this off, it's not going to make a difference to that, unfortunately. And if that was the case and it did make a difference to that, I would probably turn this off because it's really annoying when you know the keeper's going to get to the ball and you're going to have a bit of time to deal with it, but he just clears it out for a throw-in anyway. But turning that off doesn't actually change that. Auto shots, I just like to have this on just because, you know, the only time I actually see an auto shot I actually see an auto shot work is when you're like 3-4 yards out. So if I just forget to press the button or some anomaly happens, you know, I just like to have that on. I don't think it makes too much of a difference at all. Player lock, I haven't used this too much. I do think it is quite useful, so I'd never turn it off. I have used it in a few situations and it's actually been really good. I think it's really good when you're attacking down the wing and you're looking for a cutback option but you don't have it and you can manually create one. I might make a video on player lock eventually. I just don't use it too much. It is really useful though if you know, maybe go watch some videos on that, guys. I think the player lock can be quite useful, but I just don't really use it too much. Now this is the big one, okay? Contextual Agile Dribbling. So I've had this on until I got my first 30-0 of the year, okay? Which was 3 weeks ago. When I turned this off, I noticed a massive difference in my gameplay. And essentially what this is when you press R1 or RB, you know, it does the new dribbling thing that they put into the game this year, which is not very good anyway. This actually does it for you when you have this on randomly when you're trying to, like, you know, swivel around the box with a player. So turning this off will actually stop that. So you actually have a bit better left stick dribbling, which was a big reason I was actually quite good at FIFA 20, is because my left stick dribbling was quite good. So turning this off has made me a lot better of a player. I really do recommend all of you guys turn this off. You can still contextual agile dribble just by holding R1, but now it's not going to do it for you whenever it fancies doing it, basically. And I do genuinely think this is the difference between me hitting a 30-0 and instead of, like, you know, like a 29-1 or a 28-2. So yeah, that's the thing that's really important in this video. is this right here. Make sure you turn this off and you get used to it. If you remember FIFA 20, you can actually left stick dribble. That's what this turns. Turning this off will make you feel like you're playing FIFA 20 around the edge of the box, so you can turn a bit better, whatnot, you know. Assisted headers, you might as well have that off, because I think in the non-competitive game modes in FIFA, assisted headers are on, and you just don't want this, because when you go into champs or rivals, it's going to be turned off anyway, so you might as well just get used to it without it on. Not much else to say about that, really. Right stick switching, I know a few people who have it on ball relative. No thanks. Player relative, so it switches to where your player is instead of where the ball is. I've just always used this throughout all of the years of FIFA. I would not recommend changing it at all. So that's why we've got that on player relative. All of this assisted. I think they changed cross assistance to assisted. This is what makes them R1 cross goals, cross crosses, I guess. Really good. So I wouldn't change that. And then everything else, apart from pass receiver lock, this is quite an important one for me specifically. And the way I would suggest you work this is, if you're quite a fast player, you like building the play up really quickly, interchangeable passes really quick, 1-2s, I'd have this on early. If you're a bit slower, you're a bit more possession based, have it on late. You can build up the attack a bit slower. That's where I think you need to make your own decision. But that's why I have it on early, because I play really fast, quick passes, 1-2s, you know. But that's it for the controller settings, guys. Let's get into the camera settings. Right then, guys, so we're on to the camera settings now. This isn't going to take long at all. So I play telebroadcast. I used to play, I tried co-op. I wasn't really a fan. I can see why people like it. The camera's really zoomed out, so you can see more of the pitch. But what I do is I rely on my radar quite a lot to see when my strikers are on like the last line, and stuff like that. So I don't really need co-op. As I said, I can see why people like it. I would suggest you try that if you don't have any luck with this. But we're not done with telebroadcast just yet, because I actually change it in the camera settings. I go into custom and I put the zoom onto 0. This is just to see a little bit more of the pitch. Obviously, if you have it on 20, it's going to be crazy zoomed into your players. Not a good thing to do. As I said, I do use the radar a lot, so I don't need co-op. But I would really recommend you try these. I think this is a nice balance between seeing a lot of the pitch but still being zoomed in enough to... It's so hard to explain why to be zoomed in more. I think it's just so, like, it's a lot easier to do skills. You can like see the angles better. Sounds a bit stupid, I know, but that's the reason I have it actually quite zoomed in, is because I like seeing like the angles for the skills on the analog and stuff. But if that doesn't work for you guys, I wouldn't say co-op's bad. So either try co-op or telebroadcast. As I said, I like telebroadcast with 0 zoom, and that's how I play FIFA, really. So there you go. If you did enjoy the video, guys, make sure you leave a like, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed. We are closing in on 1K subs, so I really appreciate it if you're new, you do subscribe. But that's it for me now, boys. Take care. Have a good day. Peace.